Ever worried that you're going to be buried alive? Or that what happens to dead people after they pass is going to happen to you while you're alive, and yet nobody knows? Well, now you will have that fear. Just kidding. But if you think that story is rare, think again, because it just happened in this past month. Welcome to Soul Spy University, where your souls can run free and your minds are free to expand. This next story is not only going to have you grateful to be alive and not in a coffin, but also help you indulge in the Halloween spirit. And if you'd like to keep indulging in the Halloween spirit this October and Halloween, be sure to check out my new playlist, our new playlist, Halloween It Up. Anyway, a special thank you to all our subscribers. You are now a part of our family and we're so appreciative. Okay. And anyone that hasn't yet subscribed, we would advise that you do so that we're not lost in the abyss forever. Also, if all of you can give a like, that would be a huge support for our content so we could keep putting out this breaking news that is so interesting for you. And sharing does so much for our channel. You have no idea. And anyone that's interested in further supporting us, the information is in the description box, and you have no idea how grateful I am for anything. Trust me, trust us. Anyway, Peanut Butter Slice, are you ready for this breaking story that just happened?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Well, this story is from Tim Banal from Coast to Coast. And a man, actually doctor, by the name of Godwin Amadu, okay, passed away. And 2 days later, he was about to be buried when he crawled out of his casket. So, and somehow the funeral goers that came to pay their respects and they were mourning were disappointed. Which I find a little interesting. It's like, to me, success. To me, like, best funeral ever.
What? How did they not embalm him?
Oh, interestingly enough, great question, Peanut Butter Slice. So his kids actually were trained by him previously in life to never embalm him and to wait at least 2 to 3 days before burying him after he's passed, which is a little interesting.
Wait, what? Why would he train kid? First of all, why would that ever come up as a subject?
I know. I mean, that's a whole other world within itself of like, was he psychically intuitive? Did he know? Did he accidentally manifest this? Like, so interesting what really happens in life and what we're really governed by, which is the non-physical, which is the whole point of this channel, shedding light on all that magic and mystery that is real. However, yes, this just happened. He passed September 5th. The burial was September 7th. And everybody went, they paid their respects. It was actually a pretty crowded funeral for the village because he was the village doctor. And all of a sudden, the casket started like right before, like they all paid their respect, and then the casket was getting ready to be buried. And then people started noticing it was moving. It was an open casket. However, once it was closed and they were about to bury it, people noticed it was moving. And, you know, they started getting upset, running away, screaming. And then eventually it fell, it opened, and his son, like, started to like approach it apprehensively and realize his dad is indeed alive. Now people ran away screaming. And I'm thinking, no, like this is the best party in the world. Like a funeral that doesn't have to be a funeral, like yay, right? Like best party. But yeah, apparently, let me see.
Why would they be disappointed? I'd be like, "Boy, this is awesome."
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, guys. We are actually recording during Mercury retrograde, and for a second, Tommy was a flash version of himself. So we we're dealing with that right now. But yes, exactly. Look, peanut butter slice is resurrected from the dead, and jelly slice is still here. Yeah. So I think the same, Tommy. I thought that was a successful funeral. Um, so he actually then a few days later, he was quiet for a while and then explained his near-death experience.
That makes sense.
Apparently, what did he say? A guys, ready for this near-death experience? Um, let's see. I think he said 75-foot angel.
That's really specific.
He was introduced to many relatives. Let me find the story. Yeah, so people ran away thinking it was a ghost. It's like, all right, obviously it's not a ghost, you know?
Yeah,
Like that's obviously a body. Okay. Anyway,
yeah,
yeah,
zombie. If anything.
75-foot angel who stood in front of the gate. That's what he was greeted by.
Oh,
Um, Alongside this entity were two similar companions who convened with each other and later allowed me to enter the city of heaven. Greeted by a childhood friend who died 22 years ago and provided him with a proverbial tour of the ethereal realm, where the new arrival encountered other departed loved ones and even some of his ex girlfriends. He also had a life review, which
oh,
is obviously very similar to almost all the near death experiences. Um, and yeah, so, for those of you that don't know, I study near death experiences. Um, and so this is not uncommon. Um, and yeah, so that's great that he came back. Now, here's what's interesting. A friend of mine, she's not the first one, reminded me of what's in her tradition, which is, leave the dead alone, right?
mhm.
Apparently, she said that's in the Bible. So let's talk about that for a second. Number one, if they were to leave the dead alone in this situation, this poor guy would actually die when he was meant to come back, right? Second of all, there's a few things. It's like, first of all, leave the dead alone. First of all, those are half my friends. Can we calm down? I think angels pass. They're fine. I think loved ones that have passed that you want to communicate with is fine. This was supposedly written in the Bible. Number one, the person that heard it, that wrote it in the Bible, how do we know that message wasn't uniquely for him, for his soul? Maybe there's something there, and maybe we're all not supposed to know that. Also, back then, we don't know what they were doing during Bible times. Are they trying to dig a body up?
Oh,
Then
it's
yes, then yes, leave the dead alone. If you think about it metaphorically, which is what some say some of the Bible is, the dead, think about what's dead when you pass. It's your body. Yes, leave the body alone. Your spirit's never dead. you know as long as you're not trying to reverse the aging process where you bring the person back to life via in the body if they've really been dead for a long time. Then I think you're fine. Like I said, those are half my friends now. I was literally pretty much raised by angels, and they give amazing advice. As crazy as it is. And if anybody ever needs an intuitive spiritual session, please check my email below. But either way, yeah, I mean, even there was a time back in the day, I think somebody told me about where people in graves, like buried in caskets, had a
mhm.
string in their casket, right? That went all the way up to the ground. And so if they tugged on it, a little bell would ring attached to it,
Yes.
in case they're still alive.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't happen as often as it used to, but yeah, the people used to get buried alive a lot. Now, is this considered a near-death experience? The guy technically did die for 2 days. That's like, why did they send? Did he say why they were like, all right, go back to your body, bro?
So yeah, actually, almost all near death experiences are people that were clinically dead. and came back.
Hmm.
And when they come back, they report amazing, profound experiences where, they, I mean, they're in like their natural element. It's a happiness they never, experienced. Um, However, guys, that doesn't mean to just exit. That means that enjoy every second you have now because your eternity is going to be amazing. But we're all here for a reason now, which is why a lot of them do get sent back. Um, you know, I I selfishly kind of wish more got sent back, but I guess that's where I have to leave the dead alone and embrace my, friends and family that have passed over spirit, real, true, amazing, divine spirit that's helping me that way
Yeah.
instead of wanting them in a limited human form that we're all in.
Um, my question is because, like, all the near-death experience stuff that I've heard of, they were dead for like a few minutes, maybe a couple of hours. I've never heard of 2 days. That's a lot.
Yeah, yeah, it is a lot. Apparently he had heart problems and they like, yeah, I think he was declared dead. Let's see something. Yeah, yeah. So thank God he gave his kids those instructions and they followed through.
Yeah, of course. It
Yeah.
would be rough if they were like he's like being burned alive and he's like, oh God, no.
I know, I know. I mean, so he just always told his kids, like, never embalm me and wait 2 or 3 days after I pass.
Maybe because he was just
Bury me.
very much like knowledgeable of how terrible the like doctors are over there. So he's like, just wait it out a little bit. I'm probably sleeping.
Interesting. It's interesting now that you bring that up because he is a doctor. So maybe in his own experience he's seen a lot of this.
Yeah, because oh, if he's a doctor and he's like the one saying this, he was probably like, I don't know much myself. They made me spin a wheel and it said doctor, so now I'm the doctor. So maybe just wait it out.
Yeah. Guys, make sure to leave in the comments what you think of this story. To me, it's the best funeral you can go to where somebody comes back to life and reports to the afterlife. Oh my God, talk about icing on the cake. Okay, icing on the life cake. Divine icing on the life cake. Go ahead, Tommy.
Did he say like if they told him anything about why he has to come back or like anything like that? Because why would angels let him into heaven and then be like, get out?
Interestingly enough, he ended up quitting his job as a doctor so that he could spend the rest of his days serving God.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, yeah, so that's really cool. I do know that people that come back just know this whole other divinity that they don't even have words for. And a lot of times their life will change. Um, and a lot of times they get a little depressed that they're back, which to me, wouldn't you have a renowned sense of life? Like, because you know how great it is and sort of kind of always channel that divinity whenever you can. However, I think it's like, I mean, I don't want to glorify it too much. I mean, it is the best thing ever. But guys, we're here for a reason and we're here for a second. So enjoy it because you signed up for it. And, no matter what you're going through, it's always accumulating amazing spiritual points on the other side for your soul and your soul's growth. And when you come out of this and, you know, enter your true divine self, you'll be even more evolved and more loving and everything else. So yeah, actually, a lot of people get sent back, Tommy. Some people don't want to be, and some people really want to be sent back only for the sake of a loved one, usually. But a lot of times people will pray for the person that passed or that they're worried about, and the prayers reach God and the angels up there during this is reported during the near death experience, and they'll say, "Oh, you have to go back because they prayed." So, guys, power of prayer, you know.
I just hope I was not at one of those funerals when the body like comes back. Because all these shows and video games I've played in my life, I'll be like, zombie! And just immediately jump on the body and start smashing the head. I'm like, I saved us all. Why are you calling the cops?
I know. I do think you would laugh. I could once that casket was shaking and then dropped and all these people were screaming and running away. I feel like you'd be laughing hysterically. Like calm down, people. Never seen this.
I mean,
Neither have
maybe
I, but it's fun. Huh?
super, they're very superstitious. And they're like, or like I said, you know how many zombie movies and zombie shows out there? The Walking Dead alone. People are freaking out that this might be our new future.
It's interesting how interested they are in it. And then when it happens in real life, they're like, ah! It's like, what?
That is true.
Like, I'm always confused by the people that go to church all the time. But then when someone actually speaks of a real angelic experience or something, they're like, it's like, what are you listening to? Because, like,
Yeah.
this is literally what they teach you.
It
Like,
kind of feels like they're going to church to hash their bets just in case. They're like, oh look, I'm good. I love God. I'm going to heaven. And then meanwhile, when you talk about heaven, they're like, are you stupid? It's like, I don't understand you people. Yeah,
yes, so I was with somebody for like 3 years, and his grandfather was a priest. And I remember we were all sitting around the table once, and his grandfather was like, wonder what happens after you die. And I remember being like eating, like, and I didn't say anything, but I'm thinking, really? You have no idea? You have no idea what happens after you pass. You're a priest. I mean, it's good that he was candid enough to say it, but it's almost like he didn't even realize he had to be candid to say it. He was just like everybody else, like, I wonder what happens when you. I'm like, how do I know when you don't? How do I somehow
well,
have a knowing?
I mean, of all people, priests should, well, what kind of priest was he? Was he like an actual church's priest, or was he like, I went
Catholic?
online and I'm a priest of the stars and the moon?
No, he's. Oh, I know what you mean because you're actually that priest.
I
That's right.
am.
Yes, everybody. Peanut butter slice. If anybody needs to get married, etc., is a priest. I guess he was home one night and just had a couple beers and thought, what should I do with the next 10 minutes? And apparently, you can just get a priest degree.
Well, not priest. I'm a minister. I wanted to be a minister of space time, but I was like, I guess I'll just do a normal one. I could do funerals too,
Oh,
and
well,
I get a parking pass.
I can't imagine you doing a funeral. I don't know who would have a straight face. A parking pass. What for services at church?
Actually, it's gotten me out of a lot of freaking tickets, and I parked in like really bad situation places. I'm like, I gotta get in there quick. Just pull across 3 handicap spots, put the thing on. And like, all right.
Oh my God. I hope you didn't run over any animals or anything.
Oh no, no, no animals. Never animals.
No wonder you never get tickets. I always wondered about that.
I got one for those. Like, I wish there was the parking pad. There's a license plate one because I got one with those stupid flashing lights in the city that you're doing
Mhm.
past 25 miles an hour. I was doing like 31, and the whole street lit up, and I'm like,
My God, they're
ah.
giving those out like candy now. It's like a club out there with those strobe lights.
So, yeah, if you guys need a wedding or a funeral, I think I could baptize people too. I don't know. There's like a whole
Guys,
list of
that's
stuff.
crazy. You're not that advanced. That's a little nuts, Tommy.
Hey,
Peanut
listen.
butter. Peanut butter. Guys, it's not Tommy Day. It's peanut butter slice. We forgot. Um,
Yes.
I also think I've been channeling my inner old lady, which I'm known to be. I do collect jams from the diner every time I go and made my own outfit. Should have
You
stayed
know,
for a
hor-
little longer today.
you know how horrifying this would be if this was like actual, like real life. These things would be alive. Like you're alive to die. We are going to be crushed together by a giant and then shoved in their mouth.
No, well, clearly we're escapees. Peanut butter
Well,
slice and jelly slice refugees.
yeah. It's like
New rap
they
video?
murdered a bunch of peanuts and just smeared it on me, and then murdered a bunch of jelly and grapes and stuff and smeared it on her, and now they're just gonna crush us together.
Oh man. You made this all the more scary. I guess we had to be a little scarier for Halloween spirit, guys.
Yes.
You guys are going to want to see, we have 4 Halloween videos for you this season. You're going to want to see each and every one of them. Right when Tommy's gets real, almost scary, we dilute it, we get out of there. Because I don't want to scare you guys too much, but I want you guys to expand your consciousness a little. Halloween is about embracing the dark, which Tommy knows I do have that side of me. In fact, Tommy and I are pretty good, comfortable coworkers with each other that happen to live together now. And he seems to love my innermost thoughts that I forget that I'm saying out loud. And even though they seem horrifying to most, he laughs hysterically. So I think we should all embrace the dark. I would never want to intentionally hurt anyone, but sometimes when I get pissed, other people find it hilarious.
It was funny.
Well, we'll probably get canceled if we let it happen. But yes, guys, Halloween's about forgiving yourself for your dark side because we all have different dimensions to us. We're not one dimensional. I should try to wink.
Yes, let's say that out loud. Wink.
They say to do it with your non-dominant eye.
I do. I always do with my non-dominant eye.
I just look like
Well, actually, no. One of them is messed up. I don't know.
something's wrong. I look like I'm like having anyone's gonna be like, "Are you okay?" Anyway, all right. I didn't know that story would go so quickly. Do you have any questions about near-death experiences or what happened to this man or anything like that?
Yeah. Are there any ones that are like, yeah, it was bad? Because we're Halloween, so might as well get a little scary. Are there any ones that come back and they're like, it was bad? There was no good stuff at
You
the
know
end.
what? To be honest, I don't get into those. They seem rare. I don't get into it. Just to calm everybody down about this right now, let's never ask Peanut Butter Slice to ask any questions, apparently. So don't worry, guys. I'm going to calm you down right now. Channeled intuition. So honestly, I think those experiences are more to do with your own stuff,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and they're very, very rare. And it's more about getting through your own beliefs or unconscious beliefs. But no one thinks they're worthy, apparently, of going to heaven, and they are. So, from what I understand, anything that I have heard like that, just pray. And this is how to get out of nightmares as well. Pray. Go when I have a nightmare, I go inward, I go to God. Sometimes I'll have a nightmare that it really is the end of the world, and I'm just comforting people. And when they're looking at me scared, I not only do I comfort them, but I go in and I go to God, and it usually calms down everything, but it exits me out of the dream. So apparently that's been reported with anybody that has passed and not had the best experience right away. But again, it's so rare, guys. It's so rare. But if anything, just pray to God, and Christians would pray to Jesus, and whatever your beliefs are, just connect with your own inner divinity, and uh, everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody's got God, right? That's the one thing we got in common, right?
Well,
Either way, even if you're an atheist, at that point, you might as well. Like, um, so yeah, it always seems to end well.
okay. Well, that's good then. And they like. Here's one thing I heard that was really cool, but also like kind of contradicts like some of the stuff I've heard, the other stuff I've heard. Somebody's theory is that when you die and that light at the end of the tunnel is not heaven, but it's you being born again.
Interesting. Interesting. I don't see that to be the case, but what it is when you do pass over, when you go to home or whatever, hang on one second.
Mhm.
When you do return to what's known as home, you know, the totality of yourself and who everybody truly is up there. And even if they signed up for a role down here that would somehow advance your soul that you signed up for, um, what's amazing and so inexplicable about it to the end of years is how time and space are completely different. So because they're completely different than here, so
Mhm.
one could look at it that we get reborn again,
Yeah.
because on the quote unquote other side, you could feel like you're there for like uh for sorry, we only have a couple minutes left. For Zoom just told me. You could feel like you're there for an eternity, which you're gonna love. At the same time, it could also feel like a second. Kind of like how dreams work. So because of that, maybe in a metaphorical sense, that could be looked at as correct, as
Yeah.
well as you have eternity on the other side as well as correct. Um, Either way, you get completely fulfilled with everything you want, and if you choose to come back, then you're back. And what it is in this time space arena, usually we don't remember anything past this veil, which is
Mhm.
why it would feel like we're born again, you know, right away. And we would forget all that home stuff that happened prior to birth and after death.
Okay. All
Almost
right.
like
That's
if
cool.
we're all playing roles on stage, um, it's almost like we only remember what's happening on stage and not what's off stage, which is our real life,
Yeah.
after life, before life, you know? However, these NDE years constantly coming back with all this information, I think it means our consciousness is getting ready to merge more, where the veil is getting thinner, and we're ready for this cool information and more of mind expansion, which is the entire part of this channel, to you know, unlock and reveal the real magic that is happening underneath us all and around us all that we can't see, but we know. And there's so much of it, you have no idea. And that's why stay tuned for all our videos.
Oh, that's awesome. That's really awesome. Thank you for this. Yeah, that's a good story. That was a really good story.
All right,
I hope
thank you.
that they don't embalm anybody over there now because they're like, whoops.
Yeah, they need to fix their system a little. But all right. Thank you, Peanut Butter Slice, for being on and guest starring today. I know it's your first time.
Yes.
How'd you do? You did great. Um, and this is Jelly Slice closing out for this time. Remember, guys, if you want more Halloween segments, please check out the newly Halloween It Up playlist. And there will be a brand new Halloween episode every week in October. Also, if you would like to support us more, it would be amazing to hit that like button. And like I said, buy us a coffee or something with the link in the description box. It would warm my heart. You have no idea. That link is still active. Um, and please subscribe and share so we're not lost in you forever and we can keep the life happening, ironically, on this channel so that we can make your life the most fulfilling it can be here.
Bye, guys.
Take care, guys. See you next time. Thanks for coming.